Ethan Carter sat at the center table of the Grand Crescent Hotel's most luxurious restaurant, feeling like the king of the world. The crystal chandelier above him shimmered like falling stars, and soft piano music floated through the air. Across from him sat Vanessa, his glamorous mistress, dressed in a deep red gown that caught every eye in the room. Her laughter was light and confident, and Ethan enjoyed the way people glanced at them with curiosity and admiration. He leaned back in his chair, adjusting his expensive watch. He felt proud, powerful, untouchable. This was the life he had chosen: freedom, excitement, and beauty without responsibility. The past no longer mattered. At least, that was what he believed. He raised his glass, smiling at Vanessa, when suddenly the music stopped. The entire room fell silent. Forks paused in midair. Conversations faded. Even the waiters stood still. Ethan frowned slightly, confused, and turned toward the grand entrance. The doors slowly opened. Olivia Carter walked in. His ex-wife. She looked different, stronger, elegant, glowing with quiet confidence. But she was not alone. Her hand rested gently on the arm of a tall, commanding man in a tailored black suit. The whispers spread quickly across the room. It was Alexander Reed, the billionaire everyone admired. The staff rushed forward to greet them with respect. Every head turned. Every eye watched. Ethan's heart stopped beating for a second. His fingers tightened around his glass. Vanessa's smile faded. The night that was meant for pleasure and pride suddenly turned into something else entirely. Shock, humiliation, and the painful realization that the past he thought was gone had just walked back into his life, stronger than ever. 7 years earlier, Ethan Carter had stood in a small garden beside Olivia, promising to love her forever. Back then, he was ambitious but humble, full of dreams and determination. Olivia believed in him when no one else did. She supported his long working hours, encouraged his ideas, and stood beside him during his struggles. She was loyal, loving, and simple. She did not care about luxury or social status. For her, love and respect were enough. During the first years of their marriage, they were happy. They laughed over simple dinners, planned their future, and celebrated small victories together. When Ethan's business finally began to grow, Olivia was proud. She believed their hard work was paying off. But success changed Ethan. As money flowed in, so did attention. Important people invited him to exclusive parties. Influential businessmen shook his hand. Beautiful women smiled at him longer than necessary. Slowly, confidence turned into arrogance. Gratitude turned into pride. He began to see his simple life with Olivia as ordinary, predictable, boring. He wanted excitement. That was when he met Vanessa at a high-profile business event. She was glamorous, bold, and charming. She spoke about luxury trips, designer brands, and fast living. Being around her made Ethan feel powerful and desired. What began as casual conversations turned into secret meetings. Secret meetings turned into an affair. At first, Ethan convinced himself it was harmless. Just fun. Just temporary. But lies became easier to tell. Late nights became common. Olivia noticed the distance in his eyes and the coldness in his voice. One evening, she found undeniable proof, messages that shattered her heart. The confrontation was painful. Olivia's voice trembled as she asked him why. Ethan responded with frustration instead of guilt. He accused her of being too simple, too ordinary, not exciting enough. His cruel words cut deeper than the betrayal itself. Tears filled her eyes, but she did not beg. The divorce followed quietly but painfully. There were no dramatic fights in public, only silence and broken promises. Ethan signed the papers feeling relieved. He believed he had won his freedom. He thought he had escaped a life that no longer satisfied him. Olivia walked away with nothing but dignity. She left quietly. But inside, her heart was completely shattered. After the divorce, Ethan fully stepped into the life he had chosen. His days were filled with business deals, expensive watches, and luxury cars. His nights belonged to rooftop parties, private clubs, and flashing cameras. Vanessa stood beside him at every event, dressed perfectly, smiling for attention. Together, They looked powerful and glamorous. But their relationship was built on appearance, not depth. Their conversations were about money, trips, and social status. When the music stopped and the lights dimmed, there was silence between them. Still, Ethan ignored it. He convinced himself that excitement was better than comfort. He believed Olivia would never recover without him. In his mind, she would always regret losing the life he had given her. Meanwhile, Olivia's life was very different. The first months after the divorce were painful. She felt lost and alone. The house felt empty. Memories followed her everywhere. But instead of drowning in sadness, she chose to rebuild herself. She began focusing on her long-forgotten passion for interior design. With small savings and quiet determination, she started a modest home decor project online. It was not easy. There were sleepless nights and moments of doubt. But slowly, her work gained attention. People admired her simple yet elegant style. During a charity business event, she met Alexander Reed, a mature, calm billionaire known for his integrity. Unlike others, he did not notice her for her beauty alone. He noticed her strength. He respected her ideas and admired her honesty. Their connection grew naturally. He supported her business without controlling it. He encouraged her independence. With time, Olivia stood taller, spoke with confidence, and smiled without pain. She was no longer broken. She was becoming unstoppable. Back at the Grand Crescent Hotel, the tension in the air was almost visible. The luxury dinner night that Ethan had planned so carefully no longer felt like a celebration. It felt like a stage, and he was no longer the most important person in the room. Alexander Reed walked beside Olivia with natural authority. He did not need to demand attention. His presence alone commanded it. Business leaders stood up to shake his hand. The restaurant manager personally welcomed him with deep respect. Whispers moved quickly from table to table. Everyone knew his name. Everyone admired him. But what truly surprised the guests was Olivia. She did not look like a broken woman who had been left behind. She looked confident, graceful, and calm. Her dress was elegant but not loud. Her smile was soft but powerful. When Alexander introduced her to others as a talented entrepreneur and partner in his new design investment project, people listened carefully. They praised her work. They respected her. Ethan felt something unfamiliar tightening in his chest. For the first time in years, he felt small. Vanessa shifted uncomfortably in her seat. The attention she once enjoyed had completely shifted to Olivia. Ethan tried to ignore the burning feeling inside him, but it grew stronger with every passing second. Finally, he stood up. "I'll be right back," he muttered to Vanessa, though his eyes never left Olivia. He walked toward her, forcing confidence into his steps. When he reached her table, he cleared his throat. "Olivia, can we talk?" he asked quietly. Alexander looked at Olivia, giving her a choice. She nodded calmly. They stepped aside to a quiet corner of the balcony, away from the noise but not away from the truth. For a moment, neither spoke. Ethan looked at her carefully, almost as if seeing her for the first time. "I didn't expect this," he admitted. You look different." Olivia gave a small smile. "People change, Ethan." "I never thought you would move on like this," he continued, his voice softer now. "With him." "And why not?" she asked gently, without anger. He struggled for words. I thought you needed me." Olivia's eyes remained steady. "I did need you once. I loved you. I believed in you. But you made it clear that I wasn't enough." Ethan looked down. She continued, her voice calm but strong. "Losing you broke me at first. I won't lie. But it also forced me to find myself again. I built my own strength. I built my own success. I learned that I am more than someone's wife." Her words were not bitter. They were honest. "Alexander respects me," she added. "He values who I am, not what I provide for his ego." Ethan felt regret pressing heavily on his chest. For the first time, he understood something painful. He had not lost a simple, ordinary woman. He had lost someone rare. And he had realized it far too late. When Ethan returned to his table, his face had changed. The confidence he once carried so easily was gone. Vanessa noticed it immediately. She studied him carefully. "You still care about her, don't you?" she asked, her voice sharp but controlled. Ethan did not answer. He didn't need to. The silence between them said everything. Vanessa let out a short, bitter laugh. "I knew this would happen," she said as she picked up her purse. "I was excitement for you." She was history. And history always wins. Without waiting for a response, she stood up and walked away. The sound of her heels clicking against the marble floor echoed in his ears. This time, no one watched her leave. Ethan remained seated. Alone. Around him, the restaurant continued shining with golden lights and soft music. Waiters moved gracefully between tables. Glasses clinked in celebration. Laughter filled the air. But none of it belonged to him anymore. Across the room, he saw Olivia walking beside Alexander. She was smiling, not the forced smile he remembered from their last months together, but a peaceful one. Alexander leaned slightly toward her as they talked, listening with genuine interest. When they reached the exit, he placed his hand gently on her back, guiding her forward with respect. They did not look back. Ethan stared at the empty chair across from him. The expensive watch on his wrist suddenly felt heavy. The luxury that once defined his success now felt meaningless. He had chased excitement and lost loyalty. He had chosen pride over love. He had mistaken attention for respect. And now, surrounded by everything money could buy, he felt poorer than ever before. For the first time in his life, Ethan Carter understood a painful truth. Real love is not loud, glamorous, or temporary. It is patient. It is respectful. It is rare. And once you lose it, no amount of wealth can bring it back. That night, Ethan did not lose a woman. He realized he had lost the best part of himself.